Hello, I'm psychologist and sociologist Buket Emanet Ateser. How are you? I hope you are peaceful and hopeful today. This week we will talk about the concept of quiet quitting, which has not fallen off the agenda in America and is just beginning to be talked about in our country. What are the reasons that drive people to quietly resign? What does the analogy of silent resignation mean? What developments in the world and how it came about? We will talk about all of them. Could it be that you are resigning silently without realizing it? Looking forward to the comments. The concept of quiet quitting is not actually new. In 2009, economist Mark Bolger first used the term to describe the ambition that was beginning to disappear at the Texas A&M Economics Symposium. In 2021, this concept became trending again with a cultural movement in China that we can translate as tongue pink, that is, lying flat. Perhaps there was a need for a cultural revolution in China where the average daily working hours ranged from 10 to 16 hours. This movement, which became widespread in 2021, emerged in response to these pressures to work hard. In the cultural values of China, which has an environment where business life is linked to a mousetrap or mouse races. China also has an incredibly crowded population. It's important that the individual sacrifices himself for the benefit of society. Introversion, difficulty in saying no, and all libidinal energy is spent on business life. Due to the large number of people, the cultural values that will ensure social order and the laws of the state are shaped accordingly. A life sacrificed for the peace and development of 8 million people cannot be very valuable. In response, we can call it a kind of Chinese hippie movement that does not isolate themselves from social life like hikikomoris in Japan, but increases their participation in family and social life. In America, early in 2021, there was a big quit, great resignation moment. Due to the changes created by the pandemic in business life, economic problems, increasing the expectation of job performance and decreasing salaries, health concerns, etc., masses began to leave their jobs. Generation Y and Generation Z in particular were dissatisfied with business life. The 30 and 40 age range was the pioneer of the Great Resignation movement. Towards the beginning of 2022, these people left the job and more started new jobs. In the middle of 2022, content starts to be produced on TikTok using the concept of quiet quitting. The meaning of silent resignation is a break with a business model that is being worked hard to advance in the business by focusing on the career goal. In fact, we can call it the collapse of famous American dream. Liberalism's laissez-faire, laissez-passer, and then the American dream's idea that individual efforts would eventually result in wealth and success became a kind of history. Something happened after the pandemic to people who devoted the majority of their life energy to improving in business life in line with their career goals. Now people have started to hide their vital energy in the social and family life outside of work and in their hobbies. In addition to their physical health, they started to care more about their mental health. There was a drastic shift in their existential attitude. So how has the pandemic done this? Almost all over the world, there has been a paradigm shift during the shutdown that lasted more than a year. The business life, where most of the day was spent, had trapped people in a kind of cycle. People who spent years in a lifestyle where they worked from morning to night, where similar activities were done with the family after work, and who traveled in similar places on weekends could not do these things during the pandemic. Many had never seen other family members so long. The life order of the families has changed significantly. Among people who saw each other so often in a narrower space, forgotten wounds, unconscious problems were revealed one by one. People whose work and social life were taken away could not find areas to channel their accumulated physiological and psychological energy. Some of them took their anger, boredom, and unhappiness out of each other, while others strengthened their bond by finding new areas of communication. During this period, divorces became very common. The deaths of relatives and mostly elderly people, as well as some of the risks brought about by the disease, brought fear and anxiety to the forefront. The number of individuals, couples, and families going to therapists has increased. While those who continue their business life work from home, the reasons such as the decrease in their salaries, the employer's expectation of more performance, and the removal of some rights have also forced people to question their business life. The feeling of normal occupation in business life, psychological satisfaction, social environment, and lack of routine determined for years pushed people to question life and its meaning. They had time for this and needed to make sense of this drastic change in their lives. The answers to these existential questions also manifested themselves in economic life. They became aware of some issues. People who put years into business life for the sake of their career goals realized that they did not get enough of the reward of their labor. The group, especially the minority, women and mothers, has been saying for years that they have been overshadowed by white men, even in return for an incredible effort. Women are known to receive both fewer salaries and fewer promotions than men. Extroverted, self-prioritizing, extremely ambitious, and sometimes even narcissistic individuals are known to rise faster. In short, justice that is not available in business life is more glaring. In addition, the decrease in purchasing power, that is, the decrease in the return of the effort given for career goals, began to distract people from these dreams. Those who were able to work in their own business as freelancers resigned and switched to such a business model. Those who could not do this, whether they changed jobs or not, switched to the quiet quitting model. Although people who resign in silence are subjected to capitalist pressure with the term quitting, they are doing their jobs very well. They deliver all the work required by the job completely and on time. The difference is that their enthusiasm and motivation are now quite low. Not to go into a heavy pace of work, which often leads to burnout. Save more energy for their family and social lives. Also, with the effect of wellness culture, they now pay more attention to their psychological health. So if we say quiet quitting is good or bad, I think it's both. In my next video, we will evaluate the good and bad sides with you, and I will leave the decision to you. We will also touch on how to do and or not to do quiet quitting in a healthy way. This week we talked about the global background, stages and reasons for the term quiet quitting and its movements. Although this concept has become more widespread in America, I think it has a certain place in other countries too. What do you think? How do you think the situation is in your country? For example, how has your outlook on business life changed after the pandemic? I would appreciate it if you could share them with me. It was very enjoyable for us to write the text of this video, shoot it, edit it and deliver it to you. You can subscribe to us to reach you with these and many similar videos, and you can be instantly informed about our channel by opening the notification bell. See you in our next video. Take care.